And that was a Zombie Girl, Blood, Brains, and Rock and Roll. I wanted something that kind of fit tonight's theme of the Cultist Simulator. Welcome, everybody. This is the Game Design Lexicon. My name is Thorn, and tonight we're playing some Cultist Simulator to quell the insomnia which we seem to have woken up from now. To give you some heads up as to where I am, I have started a new game. I don't know if you've been watching this series, but there'll be a little bit of skip forward. I had a character die again, of course. And this character is Phil McCrevis, or Dr. Phil, the physician. So, Dr. Phil was having an issue with dread. And I didn't realize that I needed to actually feed my reason to my hook to gain some passion. And the passion's supposed to allow me to proceed forward, because I hadn't had passion up until now. So welcome to the stream. Again, my name's Thorn, and just remember that you can follow our channel here if you like what you see. Or you can subscribe to us over on YouTube, where we put these VODs up usually a week to a month after they happen, depending on how much we're playing, because of course we can't load down too much. We chop them up into 30-minute blocks and allow you to take a look at them. So I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday night. It's just a little bit past midnight my time, so we're working on getting to the witching hour. And that's where we are. Looks like we're going to need some space up here, so let's move these guys up top, because we now have that to speak to people. And what we got here is one of the patients at the Institute also has a bandaged eye. A self-inflicted wound, they say. Perhaps we'll speak soon. And I've been working my job. One of the advantages of the physician is some steady income, which is kind of nice. And if I don't actually use it, unlike most of the other jobs that you have, most of the other jobs that you have, it doesn't go away if you ignore it, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's get rid of those. So I was having a problem with dread. Apparently my passion, or my hook, would come up constantly, and I didn't realize that I was supposed to feed my passion to it. Maybe I wasn't reading what I was supposed to be reading, but because of that, I had to look up something on the internets and figure out what the fuck was going on with that. Let me get my full screen preview going here so I can see that guide when I need to. And again, welcome. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Again, my name is Thorn, and this is the Game Design Lexicon with the Cultist Simulator. And we are simulating our cult. Spending money, getting some books, studying those books, and getting back to where we were before we lost last time. Seem to be dealing with our dread pretty okay. The victory of clowns. Sounds like the world we live in, actually. The world we live in seems to be a huge victory of clowns. Okay, let's get some vitality for that. Health, you'll notice my reason is unbelievably high. Apparently, as a physician, I started off with a decent amount of reason, which is really awesome. Not that I know that I have any use for it. Temptation, enlightenment. It has occurred to me that I hold the key to wisdom. So once we get a chance, we'll go ahead and codify that one in, because wisdom is... sounds like something this character would want to obtain, right? Okay, let's see. we're going to spend some more money at Orleans, even though we've been violating our less than 5 gold piece rule. We probably should end up building up some fundage right now. Vitality. That is for our affliction, duh. There we go. Looks like we finally have something coming around to suck up our dread, which is not good, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Building up a decent library here. Let's go ahead and wait until we have a little more money, just in case. Yeah, I know. I know. But what are you gonna do? Well, I mean, I could always praise God. Praise God. Okay, so doing well on health, doing well on funds. Let's research some books. Ooh, Kittling Ripe again. That's one of my favorites. Oh boy. That's like Grimm's fairy tales for me. So tonight I'm awake. Up until recently in my life, one of the dreams that I used to have that used to tell me that I was stressed out was what I'd call a busy dream. It was my version of a nightmare. I don't really have nightmares, nor do I really remember my dreams, so it's kind of weird talking about them. But while I would never directly remember them, I'd always be able to convey what theme exists during that dream. And my typical one up until recently has been dreaming about moving. I'm guessing that moving around in the world has been a pretty good stressor for me. Having to change from one apartment to another, having to change from one residence to another. And recently, in October, I believe it was, I had to make a quick residence change. Unexpectedly so, as somebody had gotten tired of my presence. And thinking that I was going to have my share of moving dreams again. I did have a few. And those moving dreams were very intense, as they always are. But recently, that dream has changed. I no longer have moving dreams. I have abusing dreams. Tonight, the 3 that I had that woke me up, the 2 first didn't quite wake me up. And that was that I felt that I was being actively abused by someone I love. Someone in my past who's no longer there. And then the most recent, the one that I couldn't sleep past, I was abused to the point to where I tried to choke her out and didn't succeed, and was spending the rest of the night on the run from the police for attempted murder. And that is my life. So here I am, trying to cure my afflictions. And why is Moreland's popping up in a weird place? Trying to cure my afflictions and basically regain sanity through ritual. So, after all that, I have to restate that I hope everybody's having a wonderful night. That they're not asleep due to something strange like me. I was watching through my old VODs, Always entertaining. And apparently one night I decided to listen to Kansas while I was drinking, and that's always fun. Kansas is one of those bands that it's really hard to make it through some of their songs without just completely losing my composure. And I have one, and I'm sitting here playing Daggerfall, running from skeletons, while my voice is progressively shaky from listening to such a beautiful magnum opus. If you've never been here before, welcome. And again, don't forget to follow. I would appreciate that greatly. I hate to harp on about it, but that is the only thing that keeps us going, us content creators here, is if you actually follow us. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, that would be great, though not as necessary. And show up every so often. How about that? Okay. It's like we're progressing our glimmering here. Definitely want to make sure that we get our... oh shit, that's not going to make it, is it? We'll see. And let's get something from Moreland since we're... Oh no. Are we back there again? Figures, guys. Let's go ahead and spend some money on some opiate, so we can quell this, this despair. Now, I don't think I've ever played the Physician all the way through, because if I had, I would have remembered how to get that passion hump that I was having an issue with. Because I'm traveling without moving. There we go. Some contentment to quell the despair. And we got plenty of time to get that third passion. I found something noteworthy. Essays. Not as noteworthy as it could be. Yeah, I didn't know you could quell, what was it, the hook thingy. Gotta love the technical terms here. With reason. A useful malleable, but they'll probably never amount to much. Always keep that doctor going. That's a good source of funds up until I start getting my mysticism up. Which I'm slowly building it. Slowly but surely. But I do need to make sure that I get these abilities up to where I can get them before I need that higher mysticism. Nice. I love it when one of these feeds off of the other. It's always very useful. Wonderful rum and coke. Always a good fallback. Though I'm sure the rum probably doesn't make me feel all that well in the mornings. Definitely makes me feel well before I go to bed. Okay, so we got our 3 passion, we got our 3 health, we got our 3 reason. Funds are going well. Let's continue our studies. Read the volumes of the Locksmith's Dreams, the parallels and mystic dreams experienced by the carpenters, masons, and other artisans and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, sometimes funny. No one has ever explained why Galmer devoted herself to this quixotic exploration of artesian dreams. Hersalt's introduction to histories. The prologue warns at length of the inquiries of one Julian Cosley, a former colleague who Hersalt now describes darkly as a worm of worms. It seems Cosley advised Hersalt early in the writing of the book, but Hersalt later became suspicious. Moth finds the light in the dark, and so do I. I guess now that I have the Temptation's Enlightenment, I don't need to worry about throwing reason in there. Queens of the rivers. The queen of the Vistula is poisoned. The queen of the Dnieper chokes on a fishhook. The queen of the Tagus is burnt alive. Nice. So a new Ardent Orson. When we watch fire, what are we watching for? When we find it, these are the words it will speak, a word that sanctifies the change that comes when the seared skin peels. Uh-oh. Looks like Moreland's is closed. So let's search and see if we can't find the auction house and sell that book for some money. And it's really nice that we have that physician that's a constant source of money. We're not going to worry too much about that dread at the moment, unless it decides to go its way into where dread usually goes. Skeleton songs. In Arabella's introduction, she explains that the book was to be illustrated, but that the Suppression Bureau would not permit it. She hints that the illustration still exists somewhere. The book is dedicated to Sir Parzival of the Red Cup. Now, looks like I had the opportunity to hire a goon, which I don't need. Oh, it does look like our dread is coming home to roost. So let's dump some funds into our dreaming and gain some opiates. And the contentment will help. Let's get rid of that before it becomes an issue. We now have a red secret. Time to study another book. I am a Greek scholar, so let's translate this. This is something like enlightenment. A momentary uncomfortable silence while our machinations work. fleeting memory, we have something to explore. So let's explore it, right? And we have another one waiting, though we still need to find the auction house. What was that? On what is contained by silver, a dire bestiary, in the horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition of a 3rd century text by Pomander. Well, looks like we're building up some restlessness. That's never good. Well, without money, or without something to spend our money on, we don't really seem to be losing funds as quickly now. But we do need to remember to try and find the auction house. We now have a mantis glimpse and a rite of the watchman's sorrow. This rite recalls the loss of the watchman, who walks the house which has no halls. Light goes before him, and shadow behind. He must not see you. The instrument of power is used to summon him to take his sacrifice. Precious knowledge from the root of your thoughts. The assistant must speak with the words that anchor your sanity. So choose someone you trust. God damn it, dude. Getting too much restlessness and dread. So let's expend some funds. No, we don't need a henchman, sorry. But we do need money. So let us keep working our job. And we can get rid of the newer dread, as the older one will go away quicker. And it looks like we're able to get rid of another one, but we're not going to have enough time because it came by too soon. Let's study a book. The Locksmith's Dreams. In this volume, Galmir records fewer dreams and explicates more of her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. And our work continues. We still have yet to attract attention of the police, which is good. And we now have the auction house, so we can continue to find our wonderful, wonderful books. And another momentary silence, resulting in dread, which we could have expected that. Apollo and Marsyas. The original myth, Marsyas lost a musical contest and was flayed by Apollo, who later regretted it. In this version, Marsyas' skin has further history. I guess the skin continued while Marsyas didn't. I hope we don't get anything having to do with dread at the moment. That would be bad. And of course we continue our work, as money is always useful for this life. How are our studies going? The skin of Marsis gives oracles, and is later smuggled to Phrygia, where the priestesses of Cybele used it for a drumhead. At the opera's climax, the pounding of the drum drives would-be violators to the priestess to suicidal madness. The opera ends with wistful hymn of the youngest priestess on the beauty of mountain pines. Okay. Looks like we're burning through our books fairly quickly. The Viennese Conundra. Conundra? Yeah. When the individual K attends the meetings, black dogs are sacrificed and quartered. When the individual M is in attendance, black mares are found with their throats slashed. I propose that these sacrifices are not necessary, but that our Lygian friends may consider them fitting. Herewith diagrams of the mutilations. English is hard. And of course, there's our dread. Let's counter it with some opiate and continue our work as Dr. Phil McCrevis. Contentment might help. And we have an Ecclesiast's parable. Let's continue our studies of our books. Victory of Crowns by Arun. The assassins are, according to Arun, the agents of power called the Cornet, a soldier of the secret masters. The accounts go all the way back to Roman times. Oh, sorry. Hit my mic. As I reached for my rum and coke. Okay, continue our work. And away we go. Looks like we've subsided our despair, but gained a wound. We'll deal with that shortly. We have nothing to look for, so we might as well. A knife's secret. The first of our aspect edge. When our ancestors forged swords, taught the arts of martial movement, spoke curses on the eve of battle, all these shared certain patterns. And we're going to study some health to gain some vitality to get rid of this illness that we're bringing on, whether it be illness of the body or illness of the mind. Our fleeting memory brings contentment. That's good to know. So, still waiting for our vitality to get rid of our affliction. No need for the erudition. We have a reason of 6, which is unbelievably high for any character in the game. And now we can remove our affliction with our vitality. That way it doesn't cost us any of our funds. Speaking of funds, why don't we visit the auction house at Orflam's? We perch on alarming Retveld chairs in a windowless auction room with vividly burnt orange walls, waiting for the auctioneer to announce what he's offering. The reek of new paint makes the brain spin. And we will bid. Continuing our work. Our funds are getting numerous. Someone else has matched my bid. I must match it with more funds, or forego my prize, which is The De Bellis Morium. In Latin, an 18th century epic poem by the pseudonymous Solifaustus. No fucking idea. Okay, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and take a short break here as we recover our health and our sanity. Be back shortly.